Today's story is titled, I Haven't Slept on the Roof Since I Was 16, and I Never Will, by Charming Psycho. The link to the story is in the description below. Please enjoy. I haven't slept on the roof since I was 16. Sleeping on the roof with friends or family was the best thing about summer holidays. Why are you sleeping on the roof? You might think. Our apartment held heat long after sunset. Ceiling fans only moved the hot air around, and bed sheets would stick to my back. When the electricity went out, when it often did back then, even the fan would abandon me. Up until the early 2010s, air conditioning was a luxury most of us didn't have. People slept wherever the night felt cooler, in the courtyards, on balconies, and most commonly, on rooftops. My building had a strange split-level design. The apartments at the front sat half a floor higher than the ones at the back, so the staircase kept turning every 8 or 10 steps. Front apartments, then back apartments, then front again. At the top, this created 2 terraces. The front terrace was higher, while the rear terrace sat half a flight below it. A large water tank stood between the 2 terraces, blocking most of the higher roof from view. That lower terrace was where I slept, directly above our apartment. Our front door was only 2 short flights below. Between those was a landing outside the 2 top front apartments, both empty and always locked. People in my building were territorial about roof space. A mattress placed a few feet in the wrong direction could lead to an argument the next morning, followed by accusations about noise, missing shoes, or any other crime the apartment building had decided you had committed. Sleeping on our own section kept things simple. Most nights, a friend joined me. He lived on the first floor. He would carry up thin mattresses, pillows, water bottles, and our phones. We talked until late, listened to music, and browsed whatever the painfully slow internet allowed us to load. Eventually, we would fall asleep under the open sky. The best part was the higher terrace blocked the morning sun, so we could sleep for longer. We did this for almost 3 years. Then my friend bought an air conditioner. Ass. After that, he stopped coming. I could not blame him. Given the choice between sleeping under the open sky with random summer bugs showing up and sleeping inside beneath a stream of cold air, loyalty only went so far. The problem was that I had never been comfortable alone in the dark. I was the kind of person who switched off the bedroom light and hurried to the bed before anything had time to notice me. I loved horror stories, but actually facing the dark was completely different. Still, I was tired of being afraid. As a 16-year-old, being afraid was for kids. I decided I would continue sleeping on the roof alone until I got over the fear. It was difficult. During the first few days, I would eventually fall asleep from exhaustion. I would close my eyes and imagine so many things watching me, so I would stay awake until I couldn't anymore. Once, I spent almost an hour staring at a random scrap of wood because its outline looked vaguely human, but I persisted. After a few nights, I felt more relaxed. I listened to music, scrolled through the internet, watched the stars, and eventually fell asleep. The breeze was cool enough to make the night feel pleasant. I was enjoying it. One night, I woke up drenched in sweat. There was no wind at all. The air felt heavy and stale, as though the entire city had been sealed beneath a lid. I became aware of my intense thirst. I drank nearly a liter of water before falling back asleep, hoping it would cool me down. Sometime later, I woke up again with a painfully full bladder. I checked my phone. It was around 3:20 in the morning. The loo was downstairs, inside our apartment, and I neither had the time to reach it nor the ability to suppress the pain any longer. There was another option. Relieve yourself in the corner. Easy. Just a few steps. No one would notice, and it would be gone within a few hours in this heat. I had grown up hearing that unclean things preferred unclean places. Cleanliness is an important part of my faith, but alongside the religious teachings were older warnings, the kind adults offered without explaining too much. Whether or not I believed in those things, I had always avoided relieving myself on the roof. That night, however, I was half asleep, desperate, and too full to think properly, so I went ahead. Normally, I would have washed the area immediately, but my water bottle was empty. I told myself I would clean it in the morning. Then I returned to my mattress and fell asleep. I forgot about it the next day. The following night, I woke up for no reason and searched for my phone. 3:17 a.m. I lay still, trying to understand what had made me wake up. There had been no loud noise, no bad dream, no mosquito whining beside my ear, but I was strangely fearful. This was not my ordinary fear of being alone in the dark. It was different. More specifically, it felt heavy. I picked up my phone, put on some music, and stared at the screen until the feeling passed. After a while, I fell asleep again. The next night, I woke up at 3:26. It was a feeling similar to the one from the night before. The night after that, it happened at 3:19. There was no breeze, and the moon was behind the clouds. It was unsettling. The next night, it happened at 3:23, always within the same few minutes. Each time, I woke suddenly and completely, as though someone had whispered my name in my ear. Each time, the roof was empty. The water tank, the neighboring buildings, everything appeared exactly as it should. And yet, I felt like I was being watched. During the day, I told myself I was imagining it. I had finally succeeded in scaring myself that first night, and now my body was repeating the fear out of habit. There was nothing supernatural about waking at the same time. The mind notices patterns because it wants to make sense of every random incident. At night, these explanations became less convincing. I began sleeping with my phone's flashlight on beside me. It gave me some sense of ease. When I woke, I would play music or watch a video. The next night, I woke up again. I was kind of annoyed at that point. My grandma's fairy tales were so deeply imprinted on me that I was 16 and still afraid of the dark. It was a beautiful and calm night. Cold air, clouds in the sky, no random sounds. In fact, there were no sounds at all. No traffic, no crickets, pure silence. Then I noticed there was no light at all. I fished around for my phone. Dead. Great. I can't use the flashlight when I need it, I said to myself. It wasn't the ordinary darkness of the night. Even on a moonless night, there was usually some ambient light. A light bulb near the stairwell, the glow from surrounding apartments, stars above the city, or headlights moving along the road below. That night, there was nothing. When I opened my eyes, I could not see the parapet. I could not see the water tank. I could not even make out the edge of my mattress. The darkness felt like a black cloth. It pressed against my face and chest, close and suffocating. Must be 3 a.m., I thought. Then, I heard a sound. It came from the far corner. A low, strained groan. It was not loud. It was barely more than a vibration in the darkness, but it was unmistakably a voice. I started insulting myself under my breath. Coward. Idiot. You want to overcome your fear, and now you're frightened by a cat or a pipe or some old man coughing in another building? I almost believed it. Then, the sound came again. This time, it was clearer, somehow nearer to me. All the determination I'd built over those nights disappeared. I was not angry with myself anymore. I did not care about being childish. I did not care whether my friends made fun of me. I said out loud, "I'm going downstairs." I left everything behind. The mattress, pillow, bottle, bedsheet. I took only my phone and ran. I ran down the first flight, turned at the landing outside the empty apartments, and took the second flight to our door. I must have covered the distance in less than 5 seconds. Our apartment door had a metal grill with the wooden door behind it. I grabbed the grill and knocked hard. No answer. My parents' bedroom was at the far end of the apartment, away from the entrance. It was the middle of the night. I knew they would need time to wake up, understand the noise, and reach the door. But I needed it to open immediately. I knocked again. That was when I heard breathing again. It was coming from the landing I had just crossed. Slow, wet breaths, like someone with a severe cough trying to pull air through a throat full of phlegm. I froze with my hand still raised against the grill. There was no reason for anyone to be there. I had just come from there. All the apartments were locked. They were always locked because no one lived in them. The breathing continued. In, out, in, out. I could not turn around. Every instinct told me that something was standing at the top of the staircase, looking down at me. I could feel the open space behind my back. I could picture the steps without seeing them. I struck the grill again, harder. "Open the door!" I was desperate, my voice breaking, and I could feel every inch of my body. The breathing moved. A soft scrape came from the top of the stairs, followed by another labored breath. Closer now. I hit the grill a third time. My heartbeat was so violent that I could hear it inside my ears. Sweat ran down my face and neck. My hand slipped against the metal. I shook the door violently, no longer worrying about my neighbors. I felt warm air on the back of my neck. I was completely frozen in place. It was not the night breeze. It was directly behind me. Every sound stopped. The breathing vanished. I could no longer hear my heartbeat. Even the hum of the city seemed to disappear. For a moment, the back of my neck was the only part of my body I could feel. Everything else went numb. I knew someone was standing behind me. I also knew that if I turned around, I would see it. My eyes filled with tears. My mouth opened, and I was about to scream when the locks moved on the other side of the door. My father opened it. I pushed past him so quickly that I nearly knocked him over. He called after me, asking what had happened. I did not answer. I went straight into my room, turned on the light, shut the door, and pulled the curtains closed. My father followed me, still asking questions. His voice sounded distant, as if he were speaking from another room underwater. I sat on the bed and stared at my bedroom door. I do not remember falling asleep. The next thing I remember is waking to someone pounding on my bedroom door. It was 2 p.m. My sleep had been filled with nightmares, though I could not remember them. I had a fever and felt as though I'd been ill for days. I never slept on the roof alone again. I eventually became less afraid of darkness. I no longer run to my bed after turning off the light. But even now, when I think about that staircase, I can feel the exact place on my neck where I felt it breathe. Some fears disappear when you face them. Others follow you downstairs.